Hey, this is Jack. This is part two of my interview with Kelsey about planning her wedding at the Grand at the Moon. This is a continuation of part one from the prior week. I think there's just a lot of good information. So stay tuned and let's hear what Kelsey had to say. Now, what about, of course, you get to stay at this amazing six-star resort. So, what was your favorite part of the stay, the vacation portion of the events?
Oh my gosh, just the resort as a whole is crazy. Like the rooms were so nice, they're huge. We had a great view. Our guests managed to all stay in the same spot too, so that was awesome. The restaurants, like the food, like you were talking about too, the food is insane, so good. So many options for anyone. I mean, you can get whatever you want, and you can also get it poolside. Like if you don't want to go eat a lunch, you can just go by the pool and get like something quick. The drinks were amazing. My guests are big. I mean, we enjoyed getting all the cocktails and the swim up bars. I mean, that was so fun. And the fact that the resort was so big to the point where if guests didn't want to be with everyone, if they kind of wanted to relax and have their own time, they could without like, what some resorts, it's like there's one pool and it's like
Right.
everything out there. There's so many different things. And my husband's has a 10-year-old sister who was going on the water slides. Like there was something for everyone. So just the resort as a whole, I can't even pick a favorite because everything was so amazing.
Now, what about if you had to suggest to someone your favorite restaurant for dinner? If they're only going to be there one day and they have to have dinner at one restaurant, what's your favorite restaurant?
So I don't know the name of it, but it was a Japanese restaurant and they had like sushi just
In
coming
the
out.
main lobby. Yep.
Yes. And it was like you didn't even order. They're just like as
It's
soon as
called
you sit
Jade.
down, Jade, yes,
Jade.
that's what it is. As
Yep.
soon as you sit down, you're being served sushi, other dishes. I don't even remember, but I just remember everybody loved it. A lot of guests went back multiple times to that restaurant. So I would definitely say that one. But if you like that kind of food, which obviously there's so many options.
Right. And how about entertainment? Was there anything for guests to do in the evening outside of your events?
Oh my gosh, yes. There was a nightclub, there was a game room area. Um, there was the bar in the lobby, like there was multiple bars. There was a movie theater, I think. I didn't get to go, but I know that my husband's sister went. And there was different shows, like different events that you could go to. Now, obviously my guests were all in our 20s, so we were all going to the nightclub and the hotel bar, but I mean, you could stay out until like 4 a.m. there. There
Yeah.
was so much to do.
And just so everybody knows, you did not mention my favorite bar, the
What is
speak
it?
the speakeasy.
Oh my gosh, we went every night. How could I forget about it? And the cocktails at the Speakeasy, I probably had some of the best cocktails I've ever had, ever. They were
It's
so good.
if you can find the speakeasy, right?
Yeah.
Because it's if they don't tell you where it is, you're not going to find it. And
It's
and
such a
also
cool vibe.
right, and also for everybody to know, if there's the speakeasy is adults only, which is nice, um, as is the nightclub that you're talking
Right.
about. And if everybody has kids, there's also kids clubs, which you
Yep.
find a lot of the dads and the 20 to 30-year-old guys in the kids clubs or the teen club.
Yeah.
And also there's a bowling alley and a sports bar.
Yes, I
So
forgot about the bowling alley. Yep. Oh,
right. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I tell people about the resort that if you're a foodie, it is the ultimate foodie resort in the Cancun area. If you're a drinker, it has the best drinks that you will find at any resorts. And it's not just, and if you have your wedding, it's not like they give you mediocre alcohol at your wedding. If you see a bottle of something, you can say to your coordinator, I saw that at the main bar. I
yeah.
want Johnny Walker Black or Glenlivet or whatever it may
Yeah.
be. And they don't reduce it. So tell us more about. I know one of the reasons I really like suggesting the resort is you can get your events for free. So
Right.
tell us about how that worked and did it help reduce your costs and was it quality stuff and things like that?
Yeah. So it's it gets really confusing, but basically it's based on how many room
Or
nights
room
you.
nights. Yeah.
Yeah, you would probably do a better job at explaining this one, but it's based on how many guests you have. But even if you had as little as 15 guests, you'd still get some benefits. Like they give you a lot of benefits. And we ended up getting, oh gosh, how many, what was the most amount of hours you can get?
Well, you can get unlimited, but I think when I saw information from Jared, you had 9 hours of events. And
Yes.
I'm guessing you didn't use 9 hours of events
No.
because
Yeah.
it's hard to do it because your wedding ceremony is not a private event.
Right.
So, so just so everybody understands that, as Kelsey said, you will earn free events based upon the number of rooms and or room nights you have. They're flexible on that.
Right.
And when you do that, and this I'd like you to tell us about, people are always concerned. So I get this free reception. So what are they giving me? Like tacos and French fries? That's not the answer, right? I mean, you have a choice, and there's a lot of choices.
Yeah, so they give you a catalog of all the menus, and there is every single kind of food you could imagine on that menu, and you can make your own menu. Like you don't have to pick a set one, like you can pick different foods, like you could have Japanese and Mexican and American, like whatever food you want, you can make your own menu. And that's included. They also give you the chairs and the tables. Obviously, you can upgrade, but like they give you the basic set of that, and then also the people working it. I'm trying to think.
And open bar.
In an open bar, yep. And I actually ended up doing we did a signature cocktail, and like that was all like
That
they
was
had.
free, or they charge for that?
What'd you say?
Was the open bar, I mean, I'm sorry, the signature cocktail, was that free or did they charge you for that?
No, that was free. They just did that. I found a recipe online and sent it to them and was like, can you do this for me? And they said, absolutely. And it was so good. And like when the guests came, they handed it out. And we also did, as our seating chart, we did a shot of tequila. So you like had, it like had your name and the seat on it, and you had to take the shot. And that was like, I mean, the tequila that they poured in there was covered. They set it up for us. Like you could have an entire wedding for not that much money if you just did like all the basic stuff. Obviously, I wanted to do the extra, like the flowers, and I changed up my tables, but you don't have to do that.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate the overall experience?
Oh gosh, a 10. I would recommend anyone who's looking to do a destination wedding, I would 100% say to one, book through you guys or do
Well,
everything
thank
through you
you.
guys, and two, do the Grand Moon Palace or even the Moon Palace, any of them. I mean, the whole resort, and Nazook, I think, is the other one. You
It's
really
just a
can't.
lobby. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And just so people know, there is the Moon Palace. Next to it is the Grand, where Kelsey chose. The Grand is definitely 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 steps above the Moon,
Yeah,
food wise,
it
room
is. Yeah.
wise, alcohol wise. But the Moon is still a great experience, but the Grand
Yeah.
is the great of the great. Um, so when you talk to some of your guests that have attended, what were the feedback that you received from the guests that attended?
Yeah. So a lot of people said that the cigar bar was a huge hit. Everyone said that the drinks were amazing, and the service, like during the wedding, like them just coming around and asking people what they needed. They said that was amazing. The pool, everyone loved the pool and the fact that they had the swim up bars. My husband's family loved the fact that they had kid friendly stuff just because they have a 10-year-old. So that was amazing. And overall, I mean, I didn't have a single guest that had anything bad to say about it. I mean, everyone
Great.
was raving about it, and definitely was like the talk of the town. Definitely the
That's
wedding of
good.
the
The
year.
wedding of the year. I like to hear that. And then if I'm a bride or a groom, let's say I'm a groom, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Are there any tips from you on planning a destination wedding and specifically in choosing the Grand? What tips would you give me?
Yeah, so the number one tip is to work with a travel agent or someone who's going to organize everything, because it does get stressful starting to plan. So you definitely need that extra help. I don't think I could have done it without that. Um, you have to have a little more, you have to step back a little bit more, just because you're not like directly dealing with the photographer, the catering, you're not directly dealing with them, so you're not really sure what you're getting. Essentially, you kind of know like the wedding planner is doing it all for you, but you still have to, as someone who's like type A and wants to be in control of everything, I kind of struggled a little bit with that. I just have to trust the process, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But when you have vacationees and a wedding planner at the resort, you're going to be fine. Like it all comes together.
I guess one other thing, I never hear from Groom. So what was the feedback? Actually, two things. One, what was the feedback from the groom? Because I'm sure he had some say in this. So
Right.
what was his feedback of trusting you with the process, like you trusted the planners?
Right. I think he definitely saw some of my stress and understood that it was a lot. But I kind of wanted to take control. So I like let him sit back a little bit. He enjoyed the entire trip. I know that he loved having having the bachelor party, the welcome party, like everything in one. So it's like he didn't have to book a separate bachelor trip, a separate rehearsal dinner event. You know, it was all kind of together. So that was made it a little easier for him as well. And then just the wedding as a whole, I know he had a great time, enjoyed it. I mean, how can you not? You're at a five-star resort, you're getting all these drinks, you have a cigar bar, and the view's amazing. You really can't go wrong. And my
Okay,
mom would rave about it. She would say the same things that I'm saying. She loved
great.
it.
Okay. Well, thank you again for being here.